Hi, this is math for real people. What I want to teach you today is start the series of the Algebra 1 videos. So I'm going to make a bunch of videos that will help you get through an Algebra 1 class. And it should hit every topic that would be in your state's curriculum, mostly the Common Core curriculum. And I might show you a different way than your textbook, but it should get you what you need to know. So I'm going to start with the basics. Let's get started. You can see what it says on the screen. Algebra 1, Chapter 1, Section 1, and also known as the beginning. What we're going to talk about first are variables. Now, a variable is a symbol or a letter that represents an unknown value, an unknown amount. So we usually use X, the dreaded X, right? Yeah, okay. So there's your X. There's your variable. You can use Y, you can use anything you want. It's an unknown that's taking the place of where a number would go. Now an algebraic expression would be something like this, X plus 2. So algebraic expressions have a variable in them, and they do not have an equal sign. So no equal sign for an expression. An equal sign would make it an equation because it would make it equal, but this is just an expression. You're just expressing something, right? Whatever. So there's an expression. You could have something like x over 3 minus 7 squared. That's not pretty, but that's another expression. No equal sign, has a variable. It can have more than one variable. Xy plus 17 squared over 20. Whatever, you probably can't even see that. Doesn't matter, because it has a variable and no equal sign along with some numbers and such. So there's your algebraic expression. Now a numerical expression, the definition of that would be something with just numbers. So no variables in a numerical expression. Okay? So you've seen all of those things before, and now what I'm going to show you for this section right here is just how to get from a phrase to an algebraic expression, and that'll get you started in your algebra. So let me write down a few examples and then we'll go the other way. Alright, so here are two examples of phrases that we're going to change into algebraic expressions. And a lot of this, if you just think about it, use common sense. What does this mean? So 10 more than a number n. Now a textbook will give you the n part and tell you to use that variable. If you're just doing regular stuff where you're trying to incorporate algebra, you can pick your own letter. It won't matter. So 10 more than a number n. Well, more than means you're going to be adding, and that is literally all you do. Literally. So 10 more than a number n, and there you go. You are done. That's your answer. That's your expression. They didn't ask you to solve. And that's how your problems will start out in Algebra 1, just to get you thinking algebraically, which you're going to say, oh, it's a different language. No. It's your language. You can figure it out. Do it with me, okay? Stop making excuses and do it. How about 3 more than half of a number x? Whoa, there's a lot going on. Think about it carefully. 3 more. That means you're going to be adding 3, right? We added 10 when it said 10 more. 3 more than half of a number x. How do you get half of a number? Well, the number is x. If we divide it in half, we've just made the algebraic expression for that statement or that phrase. 3 more than half of a number x. You also could have said half of x plus 3. That would work as well. These two are the same thing. So keep in mind yours could look different and still be correct. So let's look at a couple more things. Okay, so now let's look at these two examples. So here's our phrase, and it says the product of 3 and the sum of a number x and 2. So the product, you have to know what product means, and that means you're going to multiply. The product of 3, so 3 is going to multiply by something, and the sum, so that means add. So remember, product is multiplication, sum is addition. of a number x and 2. Well, they're saying that you're going to add these two things together and then multiply it. So that's when you bring out your parentheses. So the sum of a number x and 2. So the sum of that with the product. So there's your multiplication, there's your addition. That is your algebraic expression. This will take practice, so make sure you do the practice that's assigned to you. Then we look at the next one, and it says 6 less than the quotient. Quotient means the answer to a division. So less than means that you are going to be subtracting. Now that's pretty logical. You have less, 6 less than the quotient of 10 and a number y. So quotient means division, so 10 and a number y. Separate your phrase and think about it step by step. Always break it down. So quotient, so you have 10 and the number y. You will always put quotients in the order that they say it. If they said the quotient of a number y and 10, then you'd have the y on top. But they said 10 first, so you put that on top. And that's just how a phrase can be turned into an algebraic expression. So now let's go the other way. Let's look at an expression and write out what it means. Okay, so here's two where you have the algebraic expression and you want to put it into a word phrase. Now there's a lot of different ways you can usually say things, so make sure you ask your teacher or look at your textbook for their examples, but usually there's a lot of different ways. So I'm just going to give you a couple here. So looking at the first one, it says 2 plus 5x. Great. Don't write that down because you know that it says 2 plus 5x. Write down what that means in a phrase. So you have 2 more than 5 times a number. Or you could say 2 more than the product, which is multiplication, of 5 and a number x. So there's a lot of different ways. That one might be the best. I think that looks the nicest. And so then let's look at the second one down here, and it's the one with the parentheses. So inside the parentheses, you know that there's subtraction happening here. So subtraction, we can use the word difference, and we see the parentheses are here to show multiplication. So that means product. So you could say the product, so look at it one thing at a time, one thing at a time. The product of 7 and the difference of 3 and a number x. And you've said it. You could say the difference, or you can always say less than if that works out with the wording when you're subtracting. It's nicer to say the difference because then you know it's in the parentheses. You say exactly what's happening in the parentheses. So those are some examples. And of course, no lesson would be complete without one little story problem. So let's just look at how to write an expression, an algebraic expression for the story problem. So you're going to the movies. It's $7 per person. Write an expression for the rule for finding the cost of any number of n tickets. So what's the rule? Well, 1 ticket is $7, 2 tickets would be 14, 3 tickets would be 21. So every time you buy a ticket, that's $7 more, right? So what's the best way to write that out? And hopefully you're thinking about this and you're saying, well, it's $7 times n. That's an expression. It's an algebraic expression. You've done that in your head before. I know it. I know you've taken people places and multiplied by the number of people. So hopefully this helped to start your Algebra 1 class. Please let me know if you like this video by liking it, or leave a comment that says what you like or didn't like. And of course, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Math for Real People. Thank you.